Hello, everyone. I am hopping on. This is a totally impromptu live. I have zero things prepared for you tonight. I just had something real exciting happen today, and I wanted to hop on and tell you all about it because it's an incredible testament to the protocols that I've been following for the last couple of years. And hopefully, I won't get the dates wrong because the timeline always gets kind of fuzzy in my head. But here's what happened today. I had my third ultrasound, which was a follow-up ultrasound to one that I had last year in March for a fibroid. I had a large fibroid that was discovered not last March, but the previous October, October 17th. I was having these really, really horrible menstrual cycles. Well, I went into menopause super early, like 38 years old, and I would go like 10 months without having a cycle, and then I would have one, and then I would go another 10 months, and then I would have one. And the doctors couldn't figure out why my hormone levels were so out of whack. I had post-menopausal hormone levels, and um, I had gone away. I had gone to my house in Oregon for about a month. I was fixing it up. We were getting it ready to rent out and all the things. And I was there for about a month and I came home. And right after I came home, I had this horrible period that was like literally birthing a baby. Like I was having contractions and everything. And it was the worst pain I've ever had because even when childbirth, I didn't have to go through that because I had two C-sections. So although I did have some contractions prior to my first C-section, it wasn't even as bad as this. This was so bad. And so it prompted me to go to the doctor and find out like what's going on. So this is October of 2021. I went to the doctor, had an ultrasound done, and found out that I had a fibroid in my uterus that was like the size of a golf ball. Almost 4 centimeters. And that's how they described it to me. They said it's not the best kind of fibroid that you could have, but it's also not cancerous, so you're okay, but we should probably think about taking out your uterus. And right then and there, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to take out my uterus. I don't want to lose my parts. Like, I'm happy having my parts the way they are. And I don't want to give that up if I don't have to. Like, I know I can heal. There's something going on. I don't know what it is. And this is right around the time where I started to realize that when I was away from home, my cycle would come back, and when I was at home, I would have no cycle. So I put two and two together and realized, okay, it's either got to be the air that I'm breathing or the water that I'm drinking because I'm eating the same in both locations. So it's an environmental factor that I'm not taking into consideration because I was eating super healthy. Remember, I was already on the medical medium protocols. I had already cut out eggs and gluten and dairy and canola oil and corn and all the things, right? Like I had already done all that. And I was eating all the healing foods, doing the smoothies, the celery juice, everything. And something was still wrong. And so I finally figured out by going away for a month, and there were a couple of other shorter trips that I had done prior to that where I had gotten my cycle while I was gone. So this was like the third time it had happened, and I got it just as I had come back. So it was like right on the tail end of coming back from Oregon. So all that is just to describe that's what it took me. Like it took me a couple of years to figure out what was happening. It took me a couple of trips going away from my house and coming back to realize that okay, there's something here that's not right. And so that prompted me to test my water and do all the things, and that's when I stopped drinking the water. So I stopped drinking the filtered water in October of 2021, right after, or right after I had found out about the fibroid. And then I met with a doctor and I told the doctor I really don't want to have my uterus removed. I would prefer to see if I can heal this on my own because with the medical medium information, he talks about what fibroids are and how you can heal them. And it's basically following the protocols with certain supplements and foods and getting rid of the toxins. And so, once I realized, okay, there was a toxin in my environment and that's what I was missing, I was like, okay, I know I can do this. So I asked the doctor to schedule a follow-up, which was 3 months, no, sorry, which was in March of 2022. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay, so 5 months. I'm sorry, I can't even count tonight. So 5 months later, I had a follow-up and found that the fibroid was still there, but it had shrunk by, I think it was about a centimeter or maybe half a centimeter. Not too much, but enough that I was like, okay, it's working. I stopped drinking the water and this is working. Things are changing and it's getting better. So I went back to the doctor again and I told her, look, I think it's shrinking. I think what I'm doing is working. I think it's the water. I don't want to take my uterus out just yet. And she agreed and said, okay, you know, it's not cancerous, so whatever, it's up to you. You can keep it. And we'll see how it goes. So today, a year later, I had another ultrasound and I went in there like, I bet there's nothing in there. They're not going to find anything. And so, you know, I talked to the tech as I was walking into the room, and I told him, you know, I didn't mention medical medium or anything yet. I just said, yeah, I'm hoping you don't find anything today. And he just sort of laughed and was like, haha, well, I've been doing this for like, I can't remember if he said 20 years or 30 years, but it was a long amount of time. Like, he's been doing it for a very long time. And he was like, yeah, I never see it change, really. They don't go down. They only increase, or they just stay the same. And he said the only time he's ever seen them disappear is when somebody had some sort of like crazy hormonal issue associated with it. And so I was like, okay, well, you know, we'll see. I guess we'll just see. So let's do this. So we do the ultrasound, and he's like probing around in there, looking for all the things. And he's like, can you give me a second? I need to go back and look at your old scans. So we pause the thing, and he goes and he looks at the old scans, and it's like, yeah, you know, your old tech had trouble finding it as well. And then he looked at the size, and he was like, wow, that's kind of big. Like, even if it's hard to find, that's pretty big. We should be able to see it. So he comes back and he tries again, and we do all the things, and I hold my breath and tighten my tummy and all the things, right, to try and find this thing. Mind you, like, I've had 2 C-sections, so things are kind of weird, like down there, like things are not at the right angle, and there's just some weirdness going on. Anyway, probably way too much for a live on Facebook, but I want you to understand. So at the end, he's like, well, I've been doing this for a really long time. I've never seen one just disappear unless, like I said, there's hormone issues involved. And so he's like, I just want to caution you, just because we didn't find anything today doesn't necessarily mean it's not there. It could mean that your inverted uterus, or whatever he called it, it's literally like upside down and backwards. He's like, that could be, you know, the reason that we can't find it. But he's like, I've been doing this a long time, and the last time it was pretty big, so we should have been able to see it today. Like, we should have been able to find something. And he found nothing. Nothing that he could measure. There wasn't anything there. And in my head, I'm like, hallelujah, it worked! Not that I didn't believe it wouldn't work, but just like to have that confirmation of like, yes, I did it again for myself. Like, this is, I can't even tell you how many symptoms I've healed, but like, this is a big one, because it's literally like a mass that you can see 1 minute and not the next. Like, it's so, and especially when you have like a lab test to back it up, it's so much bigger. Because when you have like symptoms that you feel in your body and they go away, part of you is like, did I make that up? Did that actually happen? Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. No, it was as bad as you thought it was. You just don't have a way to prove it. But this, having a way to prove it, to be like, look, here was my test. I had a golf ball sized fibroid, and now I have nothing. Like, to be able to show that is so much better than being like, well, I healed my brain fog. Because nobody can see your brain fog. Nobody knows that you had brain fog and now it's gone. I mean, people might be able to notice in like the clarity of your thought and the way you speak, and how, you know, what kind of thoughts you have are probably different than you had when you had brain fog. But it's just not something that you can really point out. Oh, hey, Kelly, how's it going? So yeah, I just being able to point to this thing and being like, look, Look, I did it. Can you see? Look, I did it. So I just want you guys to know that this shit works. Like, I'm not shouting medical medium information for the rooftops because I only believe in it a little bit. Like, I shout it from the rooftops because I know it works. I have healed so many things in my life. I can't even remember them all, honestly. Like, there has been so many. Somewhere I have a list of all the symptoms that I've ever had and all the things that have gone away and all the things I've still yet to heal. But it's just so much fun to have something like this happen and for me to get to come and share with you guys and explain like how amazing this information is and how it truly can, you like truly can heal yourself. Because I think the most frustrating thing for me is people not believing that they can heal. People not understanding that there's an answer for it. There's a reason. It's not just because your hormones are out of whack. Yeah, you know, when you go into menopause, your hormones do get out of whack. But I went into menopause at like 38, which is not normal, not even in the slightest bit normal. And I'm telling you 110% it was because of the water I was drinking. I still have to test more thoroughly my water because there was a high incidence of lead in it, or higher than normal incidence of lead. But I don't think that was the only thing. Honestly, I think there was PFAS involved because PFAS has hormone disruptors. Also, you know, like our water supplies are filled with prescription meds that people pee out, and a lot of that really affects our bodies. So even though, you know, it goes to the water company and they clean it and they send it back, it's also got chlorine and fluoride and potentially PFAS because those are not as regulated as all the other things. Mine has lead in it, but that may or may not be the water company. That might be the pipes I've got in my house because my house is older. Who knows? The point is, I really just need to impress upon you that it is possible to heal if you follow the medical medium protocols. If you look into your environmental toxins and you get rid of them, if you eliminate all of them and then start eating the way you need to be eating, you can heal. There are so many things in your body you can heal if you just do these couple of things. And I know it's not an easy lifestyle. I get it. It's hard to cut out gluten and dairy and eggs and corn and all the things. But if you're having any health issues at all, just do it. Just do it already. Seriously, you will not be sorry that you made this choice. Everyone I know that has made this choice and really committed to it and stuck to it won't ever go back. They'll never go back. Because why? Why would you go back? Why would you give up the health that you know is possible in your body and go back to feeling that crap again? Why would anybody do that? I know people who are afraid to let go of the way they're eating now and can't force themselves to start eating this new way. And people who don't want to give up their cosmetics or don't want to give up their fancy shampoo or whatever it is that they're using that they just can't bear to part with. And those are the people who aren't super sick yet, right? Because as soon as you get super duper sick, you're going to throw it all away. You're going to be like, I don't even care. Take it all. I don't want it. I just want to be healthy. Because at the end of the day, being healthy really is life. If you can't get out of bed to live your life, what are you even doing here? What is the point of life if all you can do is lay in bed? I've been there. I was there for almost an entire year, just laying in bed. All I did was leave the house to pick up my children and drop them off at school, and that was it. My husband literally brought me food in bed every night because I couldn't get up and get to the dinner table. Half the time, I could barely stand up long enough to take a shower. And as soon as I got out of the shower, like my body would physically hurt from the water. Like the right side of my body would physically hurt from being in the shower. That's how bad it was. And I get it. I'm a canary in the coal mine. Things affect me faster than they affect most people because I've been living with this for a longer time. I've had a lot of toxins in my life as a child growing up, and so it's taken its toll on my body. So some people, you know, it doesn't affect them as much as it affects me. But that's not to say that it won't affect you like this down the road, because all it is a bucket. It's just like the way people talk about asthma, how you have a bucket and your lungs are like a bucket, and they fill up and they fill up and they fill up, and eventually the bucket overflows. And when the bucket overflows, that's when you get an asthma attack, because your body can't take it anymore. You're literally full. Well, that's the same for liver storage. Your liver can only store so many toxins, and eventually it just overflows. And then those toxins are running around all over your body, wreaking havoc, screwing shit up, making you sick, giving you chronic fatigue, and a million other chronic diseases that you can get from that. So, gosh, Kelly, do you have anything to say while you're here? I'm not sure if you're still here, but if you are, feel free to chime in. This is my impromptu live all about fibroids. I'm here on my little soapbox, just trying to tell people, like, you can do it, you can heal. I could literally show you my test results if you want to see it for yourself to believe it. But it's definitely a thing, and don't wait another minute. Like, time is the most precious thing that we have in this world, and you waste time every time you make a choice against your health, because we only get so much, right? I mean, we could be killed in a car accident tomorrow, or we could just be so sick that we can't live life, or we could take our power back and fix the things that are broken on our own, because we have the power to do that. We don't need to rely on doctors. Doctors can be helpful. Having an ultrasound is helpful to understand what's going on and to be able to see what's happening in there. That's helpful. That's technology, that's science, those are things that are really helpful that we use. And I just released a reel talking about the balance of masculine and feminine, and how helpful it is to have science on your side sometimes. Like, science and technology, innovation, we need those things to help us see what we can't see with our eyes. The things that we can't see that are inside our body, like when we do testing, even blood testing and urinalysis, sometimes those things can find problems that then we know how to take care of if we're also utilizing our intuition, and if we're also utilizing the medical medium information, which tells you what the true root cause is of a lot of these things, right? Because at the end of my appointment, the tech said, "Is there anything else? Do you have any other questions?" And I said, "No, I don't have any questions. I just really want you to look up the medical medium and see what he has to say about fibroids, and maybe tell some of your other patients about it, because you could save them from this. They could heal from this if you were telling your patients what actually causes fibroids and how they can actually get rid of it." And anytime you do an exam like that where it's a guy and a girl, they have like a chaperone. So there was another girl in the room sitting on this little chair beside me to chaperone. And I was talking about the water, and I swear the tech guy was like, he must have thought I was off my rocker, because who's going to be like, "Oh yeah, I have a fibroid because of my water"? Nobody says that, except for me, who's shouting it from the rooftops. Stop drinking filtered tap water. Just stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And anyway, the girl beside me was like, "Oh, I've been drinking filtered tap water." And I just looked at her and I was like, if you live in Grass Valley, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You should get yourself some bottled water. Like, get it in a nice big 5-gallon glass jug. Have it delivered, Mountain Valley spring water. You don't have to be like environmentally unfriendly. You don't have to buy bottles and bottles of plastic water and throw the plastic bottles of water and throw the plastic away and, create all this garbage. I mean, you don't have to do that. You can literally have water delivered to your house in a gigantic 5-gallon glass jug from Mountain Valley spring water, which is like, I think it comes from the Ouachita Mountains. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but I want to say it's in Arkansas. So that's the water I drink from now on. And I have a very nice whole house water filter that filters all the other water that I shower with and that I wash my hands with and that I wash my produce with, and we do our laundry in and all those things. But I wouldn't drink that water because it is still just filtered tap water, and I'm just not going to do it. So again, total impromptu live. I just had to come and share my fantastic news with you guys today to be like, see, you can do it. Here's my results. So again, back in October of 2021 with a golf ball sized fibroid, and then in March of 2022 having shrunk just a little bit, just enough for me to be like, okay, I'm going in the right direction. And then a year later today to can't even find it. So it's possible. Please know it's possible. And follow the medical medium information. It's literally free. If you don't have the money for the book, go to the library. That's what he always says. It's literally free. And if it's too confusing, if you don't understand all the things, if you need a guide, reach out. That's what I'm here for. I can literally do a 60-minute intuitive health reading for you. Find the places that are your biggest health issues. We can ask your guides to show us what are the biggest health issues going on in my life right now, in my body right now, and your guides will show me, and then I will tell you. That's how you'll know where to start. And then you can literally just take that information and go heal yourself from there. Or you can work with me through my 90-day chronic health program where I can take you through all the steps. First, we remove the environmental toxins, because if you're doing all the things but you haven't removed the environmental toxins, you're not going to get very far. Remember, I was doing all the protocols, but I had this toxin in my life that I didn't know about, and I was not healing, and I was gaining weight a little bit at a time, and I was starting to feel really crappy again after I had already healed myself one time. One major healing of crazy food allergies where my throat was swelling up all the time. So I already knew all the things, but it was this toxin that I didn't see coming. I had no idea it was there. I thought I was doing something really great for the earth by filtering my tap water. And it turns out I was literally slowly killing myself. So that's number one, we remove the toxins. Then we add in the healing foods. Then we remove the troublemaker foods. Then we add in supplements, and then we do cleanses. We cleanse once a month to get the toxins out. All that stuff that's built up to take you where you're at right now, cleanse, get it out. Get it out so that you can start feeling better. Okay, so that's all I have to say tonight. I hope this helps someone. I hope this reaches people and gives you the hope that you need to really take the step and make the commitment to start healing for yourself, because all you have to do is believe and make that choice to take your power back. Take your power back from the doctors. Take your power back from your family. Take your power back from all those people that don't have faith that your body can heal itself, and show them. Show them that your body knows how to heal as long as you give it the things that it needs, and stop putting garbage into it. The troublemaker foods and the environmental toxins that sometimes you do or don't know about, but that's what I'm here for, is to help point out where all the environmental toxins are coming from so that you can catch them. You know, so you don't have to be like me and not realize what's happening, right? So anyway, if you're interested in a guide, if you want help, I've got my 90-day chronic health program. It's $2,222, and we do an intuitive health reading up front, and then we meet weekly for an hour, and we step through the 5 steps I just talked about, and then as a bonus, actually for the month of March, until March is over, right? It's like only the 9th. So for the month of March, I'm throwing in a bonus of free Voxer access. So Voxer is kind of like a walkie-talkie. You can push a button and just talk to me. So if you have questions, we can go back and forth. Basically, you just send me your questions and I just answer them. So if you have questions in between our weekly meeting, we can talk about it and I can give you guidance as you go. That way you're never feeling like, oh, I don't know what to do and I don't see her for another 6 days and I don't know. So I think that'll be really great. So I'm throwing in Voxer Access for free. I normally charge an additional $1,000 for Voxer Access because it does take quite a bit more of my time and energy to do that. But I just really, really want to help people this month. Not that I don't want to help people every month, but I've just really, it makes me so sad to see people sick and not healing and not taking their power back. It just makes me really sad. So I just want to help you and I want to give you motivation to take care of yourself and to heal. So that's my program. Or like I said, you can do an intuitive health reading if you just want to get sort of the root causes down and have like a general path on how to heal, and then you can go off and do it on your own if you've got the motivation and support and you know what you're doing, then that would be excellent for you too. And that's $111. So super easy and simple, right? So anyway, reach out if either of those interest you, and I hope you found this inspiring, and have a good night, and I hope to see you guys Saturday. I will try to be back here for a live again on Saturday. Okay, good night.